I gave love another chance. Sorry, I gave Lisabi another chance, and I kid you not, don't even know how to feel. If you're not a stranger to my channel and you've seen my review of Lisabi The Uprising, then you will understand where my frustration stems. I didn't enjoy Lisabi The Uprising, and I got a good number of comments, or I mean 1 or 2 comments like, oh, you didn't get it because the part 2 is coming, and then the questions are going to be answered. I had questions. How come Lisabi has access to so much voodoo? What happened? Is it a thing from his past? Is it an ancestral thing? Is it a generational thing? Was it passed down to him? Did he come across this in the forest sometime? He seemed like he doesn't have a father, he doesn't have parents. What happened to his parents? Was he born and bred in Egba land? Was he a traveler that came to Egba land, to start up his life? What was the story with Lisabi outside of the battlefront, the battlefield, the voodoo, his friends? Why is he so much against love? I mean, Ikeola clearly likes him, and we saw Mr. Macaroni's character try to put the idea of him becoming something or becoming a couple with Ikeola, but he always turned it down. Is there a reason for him not wanting to explore love? And how come he has so much passion for fighting oppressors? Is it a thing from his past? Has he come across such in the past? I just had a lot of questions, and so I didn't enjoy the film. Aside from the fact that the storytelling didn't help matters, I just didn't enjoy it. And I heard that we're going to get a part 2 that was going to give me all the answers to my questions, and so I started looking forward to the part 2. And I went into the part 2 with, to be honest, little to no expectations, and let's say few of my expectations were met, but I am still quite disappointed at what we got with the second part, especially considering the fact that the first part did it a lot for some people, but I mean, I wasn't one of those people, and I think I have come to the conclusion that movies like this are not for me. Especially movies that are heavy on voodoo, juju. Yeah, I think they're not my thing. But yeah, we'll get right into the review of Lisabi, A Legend is Born. I'll talk about my expectations going into the film. I think I already spoke about my expectations, right? So we're going to talk about the synopsis, what I liked, what I didn't like about the film, my verdicts and my ratings for the film. So I hope this review will be short, and I hope I'm able to get my thoughts together. I have a note here, but how I'm feeling is just all over the place. But yeah, we'll get right into it. In case you're a returning subscriber, welcome back to the channel. Welcome. I really do hope you stay to the end of this video. And then yeah, thank you so much for this. Come back, check out my videos. I really appreciate. Don't forget, drill, like, subscribe to the channel if you're yet to subscribe, and leave a comment. And in case you're just hearing my voice in my channel, hi, welcome. I really do hope you stay. Stick around me by subscribing to the channel, like this video. It really does help a whole lot, more than you think. And leave a comment. What are your thoughts about Lisabi 2, A King is Born, A Legend is Born? What did you enjoy? What didn't you enjoy? We don't have to agree on the things I share in this review. You can go ahead and drop your thoughts in the comment section. That make it much more interesting. So yeah, let me hear all of your thoughts in the comment section. So let's get right into the things I liked about this movie, Lisabi. I don't think there's a need for a synopsis because you already know what it's about. This man who's trying to fight and gain freedom for the Egba people in the face of an oppressor who happens to be their leader, yada, all that stuff. So one of the things I liked about this movie, I liked that we got like a snippet into the life of Lisabi, the incident that happened when he was born and how his mother was running away with him, and how she had him in a calabash and kept him on the water, and how she miraculously or shockingly was able to fight 3 men that were armed. She was able to fight them with a knife, and she killed them, although she sustained an injury. But we saw that before she passed on, she dedicated her child to these unseen forces and handed her baby over to them. And when she passed, they came and took Lisabi. So let's assume they were the one that brought Lisabi up, and that probably explains why and how he has access to so much voodoo and these spiritual beings, right? So yeah, I really appreciated that, because I mean, if you recall at the beginning of this video, I was talking about how I had questions with regards to how he had access to these people, if it was an ancestral thing. Even though I'm now talking about it and I'm saying, we got an insight, I got like a question answered, it still didn't explain. We still didn't get the full picture, because like how did these beings come into the picture? Because it's not like they just found out about. I mean, there seemed to be like a pre-existing relationship between Lisabi's mother and these spiritual beings for her to be able to dedicate her child to them. What kept her on the run? Where was she running away from? Where was she running away to? Where is his father? Who are the people pursuing him? Was he a king? Or was he a prince? like there was just a lot of questions. I mean, that even brought about so many questions for me, and I just liked that it made an effort to shed some light into Lisabi's past. I also liked the lessons that this movie told. You know, it talks about betrayal, despite Lisabi putting his life on the line, bringing all of his resources together in terms of voodoo, juju, jazz, in order to fight for the freedom of the Egba people. We still saw that the people that were closest to him were the ones that betrayed him. They killed his friends, they killed his love interest in court, and they ended up leading him to his death, even though he willingly died. But like, that was their game plan in the first place. So it really spoke about betrayal, and it spoke about the power of community. We saw how the Egba people had come together. If you cast your mind back to one scene where I don't know if it was Ikeola that went to somebody or Lisabi that went to someone that was asking for more power and support, and it was like, oh, that, you know, Lisabi can go to war and everything, but are the Egba people really ready for freedom? Are they ready to fight for their freedom and all of those things? So that just spoke more to the power of community. It's not enough for one person to want something for an entire community. Is important that these people want the same thing. They are driving towards the same goal, as well. So I really liked that it spoke on the power of community, and it spoke of the power of unity and people coming together. I liked that it talked about how leadership isn't an easy journey. It's not an easy task. Like, as much as you want the interest of people at heart, it's not easy to control a group of people. It's not easy to be at the war front. There's a lot of things that are at stake and all that. So I liked the theme of this movie, and I think it was able to pass that across to us. I mean, if you're able to look away from some of the lapses of the movie, you'll be able to take out all these lessons from the movie. One of the things I also liked is I liked that we got to see like a close-up moments between Ikeola and Lisabi, even though they didn't explore their love story or it wasn't fully fleshed out. But you know, that moment where she spoke to him and she like a little embrace here and there, it was still something. And I liked that they still gave us that. I mean, that's just to show that, okay, there might have been something, or, you know, Ikeola actually liked Lisabi, but Lisabi wasn't leaning towards what she was thinking or what she was trying to do or whatnot. But I just appreciated that little effort in that regard. Sadly, that whole thing was short-lived. We couldn't see more of that because, you know, Ikeola was killed. Maybe if she wasn't killed, maybe after a year after the war had ended, we would have seen. Was it a year after the war ended Ikeola died, or before then? Yeah, I don't even know. But yeah, I think she died after the war had ended. But if she wasn't killed, we would have seen more of their love story. Maybe, you know, Lisabi would have gotten more comfortable and, you know, all of those things. But yeah, I still appreciated the little effort. On the things I didn't like about this film. First things first. Explain to me why it felt like the first 20 minutes of this movie was spent on the battlefield. They were just fighting and fighting and fighting. It was just too much for me. I was just like, are they going to use 1 hour to fight and, you know, few minutes to do something? Like, it just felt too stretched. It felt too dragged. Yes, I get that the major theme for this movie, or like a major element of this movie, is war and these people being on the battlefield and, you know, these people fighting for their freedom. But I just feel like there could have been a better way for them to remind us that, you know, one of the major things people will be doing in this movie is fighting, without actually starting off with so much fight. And then there was just a lot of voodoo, there was just a lot of juju. I'm just like, I was just getting really tired, and some scenes were just stretched far too much. And I couldn't believe that Lisabi's mom was able to fight 2 to 3 men with just a knife, and she was inside the water. This woman had 2 goals. One goal was for her to safely guard her baby and safely get away from these men. But these men had just one goal, just to kill her, and they couldn't succeed at that goal. All they had to do was kill this woman, and she still fought them and won them. And I'm just like, how in the world? It felt like one person was waiting for one person to be done fighting with her before he now moves on to her. And I'm just like, are you people kidding me? I don't even understand. Like, so this part where after Lisabi had killed all the all the oppressors, the soldiers to the oppressors, after they had killed them, and, you know, they used this juju, they used this spiritual being that flies. That's what's this lady's character? I'll put a picture if I find one, where she was what I was going to transport all the dead bodies to the Alaafin of Oyo's premises, and the Alaafin of Oyo came outside and he looked at the dead bodies, and I'm just like, are kings, or then in that time, were kings allowed to look at dead bodies? If you cast your mind back to 7 Doors, when his daughter died, he was trying to go and meet his daughter and embrace her like a father, just forget his kingship title and all that. Like, he was going there to embrace his daughter, but he couldn't because a king doesn't behold a dead body. And I'm just like, how come Alaafin of Oyo, the king, is staring at not one dead body, not two, but I mean, they said 600 bodies, right? Let's just say 100 bodies. Like, how is that possible? Wasn't it a taboo? Or as at then, it wasn't a taboo. That was one of like the first huge red flag for me in this film. I was just like, nah. And let's talk about another red flag. And why was baby Lisabi on diapers in the 18th century? Why did they think that was okay? If they didn't catch that mistake during filming, the editor didn't catch the mistake as well, and they couldn't film that scene again, it's better for them to remove that clip other than putting it there, because like everybody's talking about it. Why is a baby born in the 18th century wearing diapers? And the mother had press-ons. She had press-on nails on. Make it make sense. Attention to very little details matters a lot, and it can do so much to a film or take away so much from the film, and that wasn't it at all for me. The editing of this film too felt off, especially on the battlefield, where they are trying to depict the fact that, you know, they've killed a lot of people and there are a lot of dead bodies laying around on the battlefield. The dead bodies were edited on the battlefield, but it was so obvious that they were edited. They looked very funny. I wish I could get a clip or like a picture, but like, just go back to the fighting scenes, the war scenes where they were on the battlefield. Like, you could see that they were placed, like those bodies were placed. It just felt like the editing was just off, the effect was just off. It wasn't well done at all, and I was just like, why? Another thing that was off for me again was Bejide's, his dialogue. I mean, should I say his dialogue or his voice? I don't want to believe that was Olumide Owuru's character. I don't want to believe that was Olumide Owuru speaking, because the Egba just felt off in his mouth, the Yoruba felt off in his mouth. If the voice was placed over his mouth movement, it just wasn't in sync. It just didn't flow. It didn't feel properly done. And I'm just like, why? For me, but like, who else noticed it? I just couldn't wrap my head around it. And also spoke about the extended fight scene. It was just too much. It was overdragged. They spent so much time on the fighting scenes, and so bummed that we didn't still meet the Lisabi. At the beginning of this review, I wanted to see more of him. I mean, maybe it would have been nice to see more of him. Maybe after the battle had ended, let's see the kind of person he is. Let's get to learn more about his story and whatnot. But the Lisabi we knew was just the man who fought the battle, helps the Egba men, the Egba people get out of the hands of the oppressors, and that was it. There wasn't more, there wasn't less to his story. But yeah, I mean, in conclusion, I think I want to believe the movie Lisabi wasn't written for people like myself. I didn't enjoy it. But funny how I think I was able to get through with this movie faster than I was able to get through with Lisabi 1. I think that because I already know that I'm not expecting anything fantastic, or I was not expecting anything spectacular, so it was very easy to just stay locked in this second part and just watch it through and be like, let me get this done and over with, right? Compared to part 1. But yeah, like I said already, Lisabi wasn't for me. I didn't enjoy it, but I was able to take 1 or 2 lessons away from it and take 1 or 2 things that I liked from the movie. Let me know what your thoughts are. When down to my ratings, I'll be rating this film a 1.5 over 5. Yes, E for effort. Yeah, I'll be rating the movie a 1.5 over 5. If you're going to be rating the movie Lisabi, A Legend is Born, what would you be rating it? A 6 over 10, a 5 over 5, a 4 over 5? Let me know in the comments. But for me, I'll be rating the movie a 1.5 over 5. If you've seen it, let me know what your thoughts are. Please subscribe to the channel and like this video if you're yet to. I'll love to see you in my next video, but until then, make sure to remain happy because you're with yourself. Bye guys.